I've taken one of the radios and I've kept it working. So this is a big metal plate here that actually is a heat sink for the amplifier. The amplifier sits under here, and it makes thermal contact to this thing here. And I've bandsawed out most of this to allow us to still see the filter. I have a dummy load on it, and I'm going to come in with a spectrum analyzer. Actually, I'm going to be using an FFT spectrum analyzer, my Roden Schwartz. And I'm going to come in with a probe, and I will make two measurements. I will make a measurement before the filter, something like that, and I'll make a measurement after the filter at the antenna, and we'll see what the two look like. You can ignore the one on the left, but you can look at the two, the green trace and the yellow trace, okay? The green trace is before the filter. So you can see around 450 megahertz, there is a large carrier. It goes up to plus, I don't know, 25 dBm, something like that. And then you can see it's harmonic down at about maybe minus 10 dBm over there near 900 megahertz. And then the yellow trace over on the right-hand side shows that the carrier is almost as big. It's down a little bit. The filter is going to throw away a little bit of power, but you can see that our harmonic at 900 megahertz is completely gone. So the filter has done a really, really good job. The white trace is a maximum hold. So it captured all events, and so you can see the difference here between having a filter and not having a filter. All right, so what does this filter look like? Here it is drawn. Sorry, I put some black on the bottom here and it bled through, and I'm not too lazy to redraw it. So this is where the antenna would be. Okay, we can add an antenna over here. So it comes in and it sees these two. They look to be kind of the same, right? So capacitors to ground, and then there's these circuits here that have both things in them, and then an inductor out to the real world. So what kind of filter is this, right? All right. We're talking about LC circuits, and we could have things, let's say we have something that looks like this. All right. And we have something that looks like this. And they look kind of the same, all right? But when it comes in, the very first thing the thing sees is a series variable resistor, okay? It sees this reactive device in series. The first thing this one sees is it sees something that shunts to ground. So when you go to model filters, you need to tell it whether you have a series first or a shunt first type of design. All right? So just kind of keep that in mind, whether you do that first or whether you do that first. Doesn't matter if this happens to be this one happens to be a capacitor. You can always swap things. You can just take this filter and just change them all. Make that a C and an L, a C and an L, and it will go from a low-pass filter into a high-pass filter. Just magically changes, right? So, but the idea is it a series first or is it a shunt first? Okay, one of my favorite tools is from Markey Microwave. And if you go to their website, go to Technical Resources, go to Tools. And down here, there's a bunch of calculators. And we can go to the LC Filter Design tool. You can hit Load Tool. And here is a filter. Okay. So you can say, well, we want to do a low-pass filter. Type. I don't know what the type is. And remember I said shunt first or series first? We're going to do shunt first. And we had a 6-order filter. So let's put in 6 orders. And the cutoff frequency was, let's say it's 500 megahertz. And we'll do compute. And boom, there we do. We have a filter. Now, does that look like our filter? Well, here's the pass response, right? It has a nice low filter design. But remember that we had capacitors in parallel with inductors. So it's not a Chebyshev. Maybe it's a Butterworth. Let's try that one. No, it's not that one. Let's try bezel. No. How about elliptic? Ah, elliptic. Yes, indeed. So if you go to learn about filters, you'll learn about poles and zeros. And you can have filters that are poles only. And then you introduce zeros. And you get to elliptical filters. So ignore all of that language. If you take a look, whenever you see something that looks like this, where you have an inductor and a capacitor both acting together, they're in parallel. So one's going up, one's going down. That's when I say, oh, that's probably an elliptic. And so whenever I see something that looks like that, I kind of know in my head, oh, let me try elliptic first, because I know it's not going to be a Chebyshev. I know it's not going to be, because all of those others don't have that type of configuration. So let's look at this filter. Well, it comes out here to 500 megahertz and then boom, falls off very rapidly. Looks really nice. And we have capacitor, and then we have one extra inductor. Remember, our filter had that one extra inductor hanging off to the side. Now, filters are reversible. So in this particular case, the antenna would have been on the RL hill. I have a really hard time saying R's and L's with this tongue problem I have. So we have the antenna sticking out over here. So this is probably what's going on in our filter. It is an elliptical design, probably something very, very close to this. And this is what's known as a lumped element design. Each inductor, each capacitor is its own lump. It's not a microwave design. We've seen some of the filters that are like the voodoo magic ones that are just kind of like different shapes. Those are strip line or other types of microstrip, other types of PC board type of designs. They're transmission line filters. And this one is a lumped element. Now, a lot of times you can go back and forth. You can start with a lumped element design and then say, okay, I have a lumped element design I like this one here. Can I take this and then turn it in to one of those voodoo magic filters, right? And yes, you can. And there are tools to do that. This particular website has some of those. It doesn't have everything, but it does have some. So they call it here the Microstrip filter design tool. So let's put that one in, okay? So what did we have? We had a low pass, and see, there's no ellipticals here. There's only Chebyshev and Butterworth. So let's just say Chebyshev. We had a 6-order filter. We had a 500 megahertz cut. And you can see this filter is not real nice. It kind of has a real slow roll at 500 megahertz. It's kind of ugly looking. And it's got some funny things out here. What does it look like? Well, it looks like oops, where did it go? Which way did they go? How do I get over there? Oh, here it is. So here's the input output. So you will have this stub. So we have these fat stubs and narrow stubs. And how do you say this is a 6th order filter? 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like a 5-order filter to me. I don't know how they got 6 out of it. Yeah. So there's. Oh, here we go. They're talking about maybe this being a little inductor. Yeah. So this is not the greatest place to learn filter design for. It doesn't have enough. It doesn't have enough of the play tools, but it does have cool things.